Hey, Miss Brown, this is Donovan Dangerfield. This is my video explanation to my project. So first, the intended functionality of my program is it's a quiz that asks different questions, basically Super Bowl trivia questions. And when you ask the question at the end, it tells you whether you're correct or wrong and what the right answer is. And it also adds a point to your overall point total. So at the end of the quiz, you get a different message based on what your final point total was. I chose to create this program because it's like, well, I like football and I like sports, but I didn't want to make it too individual based on one person per se. I wanted it to kind of have more broad answers and have to do with football, but I didn't want to take it to a point where I was asking about multiple sports. I tried to keep it on topic to one sport. So yeah, that was pretty much why I made it though. The next question, your process and steps you took to develop the program. So obviously we always start with our header, the including IOString. I did need to use string. I always put string in there, the include string, just because it helps me remember better. But I put it in there because I did need it for this. And of course, our using namespace std. Int main, always start the function, start our program. And then I went down to the bottom and I put our return 0 and our close brace. I forgot to say the open brace, but we had that one too. And then it was thinking about variables, how I wanted to score it. And well, obviously you have to have a variable for the score. And I thought I would need more variables than what I did, but all I really needed to execute the code was a score variable and a string variable. And the string variable being whatever answer it was that the user would input. So basically just going throughout, the formatting wasn't hard, but I did use AI to figure out how I wanted to format my code. And then from there, I laid it all out and I went in and I created different questions, just different Super Bowl small base questions. I didn't want all of them to be A through D questions. So, even though most of them are, 4 of them are, but one of them, I did decide to switch it up and just make it an A or B question. I was contemplating whether making it true or false, but I kind of just kept it to A or B to kind of make it work. What else? Oh, the other parts are my if-else statements. I didn't use crazy if-else statements, but my if-else statements are my if-else statements are my answers. So the ifs after the answer are, if the answer is equal to what the answer is, then you get correct. And then the else part of the if else is, if that answer is wrong, it will print out to you that you got the answer wrong and tell you what the correct answer was. Also have a piece in there in that if else part to add a point to your score. You get 1 point per correct answer. If you get the answer wrong, you don't get any points. If you get the answer right, you get a point. So the most you can have is out of 5 points. Also went in, also commented throughout, not everywhere, but kind of just certain parts where I kind of needed to generalize what I needed to remember in certain parts. And then what else? Yeah, I did just say comment. Oh, and then my switch statement at the end. Yeah, so to put the switch statement in there, to get my switch statement in there, I almost chose to make one of the answers the switch statement. So I was gonna have one of the answers to the question display whether you were right or wrong using the switch statement, but I decided to switch it and make the switch statement the end that showed basically your different message based on what your final score was out of 5. And yeah, so there's 5 individual cases for the switch of your score variable, well, of my score variable. So yeah, and then I was gonna say, I don't know how to turn this around. I was gonna turn it around, but I do have everything right here. And I'm sorry, my video is running a little long, so let me get to this last question. And the lesson I learned through this project, I'm not gonna lie. What I learned really was I didn't realize that we had learned enough to be able to make at least a program of this sort already. I definitely thought that we were still, even though I understand that we are still at the basics. I was thinking we were even more basic than this to be able to make a program like the ones that you assigned for us to make. So yeah, it basically just opened my eyes and showed me that I have been learning and I am able to do a little bit more than what I thought I was. So yeah, thank you.